Today we're playing two hidden gems from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Territory Forge and Legion Extruder with a Karn the Great Creator package. Let's go check it out. Let's begin today's video by thanking the donator for today's deck, Velgrim. Velgrim wanted to see a Karn the Great Creator deck featuring these two exciting cards from Outlaws of Thunder Junction / Big. The first one is Legion Extruder. For 1 and a red, it enters the battlefield and deals 2 to any target, including Collector Ouphe. So now with your Karn the Great Creator, you have a way to go search out an answer for Collector Ouphe in your deck that is primarily artifacts. On top of that, it doubles as a backup win condition, especially in your deck that can naturally untap this artifact using Paradox Engine. So you can create an army of 3/3 colorless golem tokens, which is pretty sweet. And then we have Territory Forge. So we're worried about Collector Ouphe. Well, Territory Forge can actually answer Null Rod. It is a little bit more expensive. It's 5 mana, and it exiles an artifact or land. So it exiles the Null Rod, and then it gains all activated abilities. Well, Null Rod doesn't have any activated abilities, so you don't have to worry about it gaining the ability from Null Rod because that's not activated. But it could gain the abilities of something like an Urza's Saga, for example, or Merit Lodge, or something along those lines. Not that you really want the Merit Lodge ability, but it was just an example. So those are the two exciting new cards. And if you look at this deck list, we're also playing Lava Spur Boots, and I think that this is a great use of Lava Spur Boots. So obviously it's great with Urza's Saga giving your construct tokens haste. Well, in this deck, it can give Emery haste, so that way it taps the turn it comes into the battlefield, and that's huge, making the blue splash in this colorless artifact deck much better. And I'm really excited about that today. The other blue card is obviously Thoughtcast, and if you try to search this deck on MTG Goldfish, it'll come up under something like blue-red artifacts, which is a little bit boring. I like the name Combo Cast personally. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, but that is my short and sweet deck for today. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. For now, I want to hop on in and play some Legacy Magic the Gathering. I know that's what you're here for, so let's go to match number 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop, or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Alright, time for the first match. We're on the draw. We've opened up a Karn the Great Creator, my least favorite Magic card in the history of this game. Hate this card. But it's in the deck list that I'm paid to play, so here it is. And we can't actually cast it. We only have Lotus Petal and a Mox Opal. We have a bunch of baubles, but I think that this hand is just too volatile. We'll just send it back. And this hand is much better. We're definitely going to keep this, and we'll bottom the Karn. Verdant Catacombs, and it looks like they're passing the turn. Good deal. Volcanic Island. We'll play the Seat of the Synod, Mishra's Bauble, Mishra's Bauble, and then we'll play Emery, Lurker of the Lock. Emery enters the battlefield, and we mill over 4 cards. Mox Opal, another Seat of the Synod, and an Urza's Saga. Let's activate the baubles now, which might seem a little bit silly, because our opponent could have discard spells, but I'm worried about Orcish Bowmasters. So I'm trying to get the baubles ahead of Orcish Bowmasters. And speaking of which, they reveal one in their hand. So they have a Murktide Regent on top and then a Bowmasters in hand. They shuffle away the Murktide Regent. They pick up an Underground Sea. Fatal Push. Okay, not a card you see too often these days. And now we'll draw 2 random cards. Ancient Tomb. And another Seat of the Synod. So we are definitely flooded on lands here. Polluted Delta. Dothy Voidwalker. Okay. We draw another Bauble. Let's play the Bauble. Ancient Tomb. And that should allow us to play this Thoughtcast. Okay, so we snuck it in underneath the Orcish Bowmasters. And they're going to Force of Will the Thoughtcast. Okay. We don't need a Bauble right now, just because they could flash in the Bowmasters on their turn, and this way, if they try to grief me, I don't have anything in hand that can be discarded. They play Brainstorm. Wasteland. They attack for 3, will fall to 15. On the end step, we will Urza's Bauble. Here comes the Orcish Bowmasters, that's fine. And now we get to see the last card in their hand. They didn't need a Bowmasters right here. They could have just done it like in my upkeep, and maybe I would have revealed the same card, and they reveal another Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. Draw the card off the Bauble. Bowmasters will deal us 1. It is the One Ring. Paradox Engine. I think I'm supposed to play the engine this turn, which might be crazy. So I would go to 9. They would flash in Bowmasters, waste me. And then next turn I'd have to chain a bunch of zeros off of the One Ring. But the reason I want to do it that way is that I have protection with the ring and I could play through all the Bowmaster triggers. So I think I'm supposed to play the Paradox Engine here. And then we're just praying to draw a bunch of 0-mana artifacts. They can attack for 6. I'll go to 3. I actually just might be dead here. Oh, I forgot about the... Yeah, I can't even use my Ancient Tombs. Maybe playing the One Ring was right. But then I don't have protection next turn. I don't know if there was a real way around this. And now they wasteland the seat, and we lose. Okay, then. Well, that was fun. We are starting this league off 0-1 so far, but there's still 2 post-board games, so let's try to win those. We likely want the Abrades. We'll side those in. We do have main deck Pyrite Spellbombs. We just didn't happen to draw any of them. And I think that maybe we want to board down on Baubles, just because they're not very good against the Orcish Bowmaster deck. We're probably interested in some number of defense grid as well. That leaves us at 62 cards. Maybe you just want all of them. And I'm going to board out the Thoughtcast. Like, I just don't think they're cards we want versus the Bowmaster deck. Maybe I'll bring back in 1 versus Bauble. We'll try this. Game number 2 on the play. Saga, but no other mana sources. Unfortunately, I think we have to send this one back. This is a turn 1, the One Ring. I do like that. We'll keep in bottom Lotus Petal. Okay, let's go. Ancient Tomb, fall to 18 life, Grim Monolith. That resolves. We'll tap it for 3 mana. Play Voltaic Key. Mox Opal. Another Grim Monolith. We'll make some mana. And the One Ring. It resolves! Love to see that. Activate it. We have protection until next turn. We draw the Singleton Urza's Bauble we left in the deck. Activate it. Murktide Regent. Pass the turn. Explosive start. I like it. Defense grid is a good draw. Underground Sea and Ponder. They shuffled. We'll lose 1 life from the One Ring. Another copy of defense grid. Let's play it. And now we'll draw 2. Another defense grid. I think we probably want to untap the One Ring here and draw 3. Try to hit a land. No luck. We will pass. Our opponent plays Brainstorm in their main phase, which makes sense because we have a defense grid in play. Polluted Delta, Underground Sea, and another copy of Brainstorm. They play a Grief, exiling Fatal Push. Goodbye, Karn the Great Creator. We're going to lose 3 life in our upkeep to the One Ring. Let's draw 4 cards. That was not that great, so we will untap the One Ring and draw 5. All the cards. We'll play another Mox Opal. Looks like we found a engine. That's good. So we'll go to 10. We'll play Grim Monolith. Okay, I think we're going to try to win here. I will go to 8 and we'll play the engine. And now we'll play a Bauble, and the rest of this game should be pretty easy. Untap everything. And the opponent concedes. Off to game number 3. So one way you could win is just by giving Emery haste with the Lava Spur Boots and then using Pyrite Spellbomb over and over again. But you have to play spells, but thankfully our deck is full of cheap artifacts to untap your Emery. So you could Pyrite Spellbomb them out. Additionally, you have the Aetherflux Reservoir in the sideboard alongside your Karn the Great Creator. So that's the preferred way to win. It's just going to be a lot faster, less click intensive. Game 3 on the draw. Sure, this seems very reasonable to me. Our opponent begins with a Polluted Delta and passes the turn 6 cards left in hand. We find Emery, Lurker of the Lock. We'll begin with Seat of the Synod, Mishra's Bauble, Mox Opal, Let's try Defense Grid. Force of Negation, exiling Force of Will. Good deal. I'm going to use the Mishra's Bauble. Once again, trying to get in under Orcish Bowmasters, which happens to be the top card of our opponent's deck. They shuffle it away. They find an Undercity Sewers. Love that card. And they surveil away a Force of Will. Sign of strength here. I'm a little afraid. If our opponent's surveilling away Force of Will, we're probably in trouble. No land number 2. A Braid was a good draw. For a Monolith, Spell Pierce. I cannot pay for that. I guess if I had played the Seat here, I could have played Emery, so maybe that's a misplay. I purposely played out the Volcanic, thinking about how if our opponent draws a land and plays Null Rod, I'd be able to beat it. But maybe that's like, maybe I just shouldn't be thinking that way. Maybe I should just accept that I can't beat Null Rod. We'll play Seat. I want to try Karn here. Another Spell Pierce. Brutal. A lot of Spell Pierce for a deck with a lot of disruption already. It's a little bit odd to me. We've already seen both forces. They have Dauthi Voidwalker, Wasteland, Bowmasters. It's not common to see Spell Pierce out of these decks. And they did not shuffle with the Ponder, but they also did not play a land. The Lotus Petals, the draw. We'll play an Emery. Resolves. We mill over a copy of the One Ring. I like that. Pyrite Spellbomb. Lotus Petal. And we could pass the turn. Wasteland. And there's the Null Rod. Okay, we're going to float a red here. Null Rod will resolve. And I mean, this is why I originally played out my land early. But let's see if we can get this Abrade to resolve. Destroy target artifact. They've already gotten rid of 2 Force of Wills. That's the card we're afraid of here. Oh no, maybe I should have sacrificed a 3rd Force of Will, exiling Force of Negation. I think in hindsight, I was supposed to sacrifice the Lotus Petal because Daze beat me there. But they actually had Force of Will number 3. Oh no. We're in trouble. And they have Wasteland for my Volcanic Island. I don't know what to do here. I think we just attack. So many pieces of counter magic. And they exiled another Force of Negation. They ponder into Verdant Catacombs. Destroys my Volcanic Island. And it's looking like I'm not going to be able to play Magic here. I think the best thing that is possible here is I draw like Ancient Tomb into Urza's Saga. We'll attack for 1. They find a 2nd copy of Undercity Sewers. That surveils away an Underground Sea. They're now representing Orcish Bowmasters, but I don't think we can win this game if I play Afraid anyway, so I'm just going to attack. And here, oh, it's Dress Down. I don't care about that. Pass the turn. The Lotus Petal is the draw. Swing, swing. We've seen 33% of our deck at this point. And they do have the Bowmaster, so we're going to lose our Emery here to the Orc Army token. Brainstorm and Ponder. Misty Rainforest, they have 3 cards left in hand. Volcanic Island, but it doesn't do me a whole lot of good here. I can't do anything with it. Another Brainstorm from the opponent. And a 2nd copy of Null Rod. So that shuts off drawing a Braid as an out. But I still think how we realistically win this game is just by drawing Ancient Tomb plus Urza's Saga. We need to continue to pass. They have another land, still 3 cards in hand here. I guess if my out is to draw Ancient Tomb plus Urza's Saga, I should start to play out some of these uncastable cards. I shouldn't say uncastable, useless cards. Just so that way my constructs are even larger. Another copy of Orcish Bowmasters. Wasteland. Destroys the useless Volcanic Island, but I don't actually care about that. We'll take 3 going down to 13. Time is running out for us to draw into those 2 lands we need. Ancient Tomb, Urza's Saga. The next turn I take 3. So the question is, do I just play this out and assume that I'm going to draw an Ancient Tomb? We haven't seen one yet. I don't know if I draw a tomb next turn and I don't play it. I think I die before these are... I think I have to play it. I think there's a real chance that if I wait, this game just gets away from me. We play the Urza's Saga and pass the turn. Brazen Borrower. Okay, I don't think the construct tokens are actually going to be good enough anymore. Now they attack for 6. I go to 7. Even if I draw Ancient Tomb, we're just dead. A Braid. Okay, well that is the first match. The all artifact deck loses to Null Rod. More news at 11. I'll see you in match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Let's try to bounce back. We're on the draw again, but we're going to keep this hand. It's a pretty fast one ring, and I'm interested in that. Not really sure what our opponent's playing, but once again, an Underground Sea deck. Another copy of Ancient Tomb. We'll try Grim Monolith versus Bauble, and we'll activate the Bauble. Force of Will, that's a good one. We'll draw off the Bauble, Manifold Key. They play Brainstorm, Lotus Petal. Are you Doomsday? Not really sure what's happening here. I mean, I'm getting Doomsday vibes. We'll play Lotus Petal, Manifold Key, Pyrite Spellbomb, Volcanic Island. How about a Thoughtcast? Am I allowed to do that? Mox Opal, untap the Grim Monolith. With one colorless floating, we'll play the One Ring. Force of Will, exiling Daze. Sure. We'll play a Bauble. Pass the turn. In our opponent's upkeep, we'll use the Mishra's Bauble. They're drawing Ponder, Dark Ritual, and there's Doomsday. So they're passing with Ponder in hand, which tells me that they likely have another Force of Will. There's 3 forces here. Yeah, there's a Force of Will missing. So they likely have another. We'll draw a card using the Pyrite Spellbomb. Versus Bauble is not going to be good enough here. Ancient Tomb. Engine. I think we're probably just dead. We'll play the Engine. They Force of Will. Exiling the Ponder. We'll play Bauble. Look at the last card in their hand, which is the Thassa's Oracle. So they just built a Cycler pile, and we're dead. They cycle Street Wraith, cycle Street Wraith, and Oracle will do it. We lost game number 1 to Doomsday. Our sideboard doesn't really have any meaningful way to interact with them. The best thing we can do is bring in Defense Grid, and we'll take out the Pyrite Spellbombs, and maybe one Emery. I don't think we want to be playing the Value Engine game against them, so we'll try this out. Ancient Tomb and Defense Grid. That resolves. We'll play Bauble, Mox Opal, pass the turn. We need the mana from the Mox Opal, so I'm not going to use the Urza's Bauble. And a first turn Ponder. They shuffle, Manifold Key. We'll play Karn the Great Creator. So this would be a spot where I feel like having a Lion's Eye Diamond in the sideboard would be a huge difference maker, because I could guarantee the ability next turn to go and get the Mycosynth Lattice, where I can't do that right now. None of these other cards are very good. I think I'm supposed to grab the One Ring and hope that next turn I can Lattice. They play a Brainstorm, Misty Rainforest, Dark Ritual, Shieldred the Apocalypse. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. That card happens to be very good against us. And it gets around the ring protection too. I think it's going to kill me very quickly here. So something we could do... I could try to put Aetherflux Reservoir into play and then win that way. And I can't... Well, I guess I could actually. Alright, we'll minus Karn. We'll go grab the Reservoir. Go to 10. Play the Reservoir. That gives me another artifact for Metalcraft. And then I can play the key and gain a little bit of life. And then we have to pass. Tropical Island. Shieldred attacks. They attack me and not the Karn. We draw another Ancient Tomb. Not sure what to do here. Our new sideboard cards do not answer Shieldred, unfortunately. Well, I guess it's free to start off with the Ancient Tomb. We'll plus on the Aetherflux Reservoir. And then I think I want to play another Karn the Great Creator. We'll keep the new one. Minus the Karn. We'll grab Haywire Might. Play the Haywire Might. Gain a little bit more life here. Attack for 4. They play land number 4. And they do not attack this time. We're going to lose 2 life to the Shield Red. Ouch. Play another defense grid. We'll gain 1 life. That resolved. I desperately need like a Grim Monolith right now. We'll minus the Karn. I think it's Spellbomb. It's either Spellbomb. I mean, Bridge, I'm not sure is a card we even want here. Could just be Lattice. I'll grab Lattice. So I could gain 2 life going up to 4 if I play the One Ring. And then on their turn, I'm just afraid that the One Ring is not going to be good enough. Alright, we'll play the One Ring. Protection from everything. We will pass. Cavern of Souls. They name Merfolk. Thassa's Oracle. Get that scry action on. They did keep a card on top. They cycle an Edge of Autumn. We have protection from everything. We don't need to block here. Okay. Oh, they killed my Karn. That didn't really matter. I guess I could have blocked. We lose 0 life. We'll take a draw. Grim Monolith. About time. Play the Grim Monolith. Tap it for mana. Untap the Grim Monolith. Tap it again. Mycosynth Lattice. We're at 5. And I can actually answer the... maybe I should have thought through this a little bit more. I could use the Haywire Might now to remove the Shield Red, but I didn't think it through. I should have tapped an Ancient Tomb. Yeah, I might have just thrown this. Oh, geez. I should have tapped the Ancient Tomb and then left open the Mox Opal, and then I could have answered the Shield Red. Oh, never mind. It is an artifact, but I forgot that I don't have the Karn. So I guess blocking in multiple ways was bad. I really threw by not blocking. The Thoughtseize, which hits my engine. I am running out of time here. I am forced to block. I take some damage. I'm at 6. Lotus Petal. And Doomsday. So if I draw on the end step, I lose 3 life. I untap, I lose another life. Well, I guess 3 life is with the untap. I think it's better to just untap rather than do it on the end step here. So I lose 0 life. I need to draw some 0-mana artifacts. Land was a terrible draw. Okay, we'll activate the ring. We'll draw 1 card. We'll gain 1 life. I think I'm actually just dead here because I can't draw 2 cards without dying. So I think I threw this game. In a couple different spots, actually. That's it. I messed up. Like, I had an opportunity to answer the Shield Red, and I just didn't see it because I'm not used to playing this deck. But I could have Haywire Might the Shield Red, or just blocked it when it went to go attack my Karn the Great Creator. A little frustrating here. But also, the fact that we didn't have a Lion's Eye Diamond made this game a lot more difficult than it needed to be. So... my fault. I'm not blaming the deck, but a Lion's Eye Diamond would have been huge there. We're 0-2. There's still 3 matches left to go. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. We're on the draw again for match number 3. We're going to keep Tropical Island, Noble Hierarch, you've got it. Lotus Petal, I believe that's a turn 1 the One Ring. Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Mishra's Bauble. So the question is, am I supposed to play around Daze? I do know that my opponent is a Infect player, and typically that deck doesn't play a full playset of Daze. So part of me is like, I should just jam and disrespect here. The One Ring. They had a Daze. I mean, obviously it looks bad when they do have it, but a lot of lists only play like 2 to 3 copies, and I don't think that I should be trying to beat like 2 of or 3 of Days. Blighted Agent, sure. Well, key is the draw off of our Bobble. They replay the Tropical. Blighted Agent. We draw another land. Things are not looking good for the home team here. Alright, Spellbomb. Let's try Voltaic Key and see if they counter this to shut off Metalcraft. They did not. Okay, so I think I'm going to take my chance here at killing the Blighted Agent while they're tapped out. If they have an Invigorate, they could save the Blighted Agent. And they do have Invigorate. So far, they've had everything. Unfortunate. So we will pass the turn. They play another Tropical Island, and now they're attacking for 2 Infect. Okay, that's all they've got. Still 3 cards in hand. They're passing. And we're just flooding out at this point. Play Volcanic Island, pass the turn. They have another land. They swing, still no blocks. I'd love a copy of the One Ring here. Urza's Saga? It's not terrible. I need to live long enough for it to be relevant, though. I already have 4 Infect. Invigorate is going to do it here. That is 10 Infect. Yeah, I'm dead. Okay. Things are not looking great. So I think we want Defense Grid. Once again, this is not a value matchup, so I'm going to board out the Emery, Lurker of the Lock. And I think boarding in like 2 mana deal 3 is such a trap versus the Invigorate deck. I'm not going to bring in a Braid. We'll submit. So we're about halfway through this league, and so far, this is my opinion, and I realize I could have played a little bit better in that last match. I feel like this deck is a little underpowered. It feels like a lot of air. Like, when you look at the Tony Scapone Blue-Red Artifacts deck, it's a similar feel, but it has Force of Will and other interactive elements to slow the game down. Here, you're more of a combo deck, which I like. I love playing combo decks. I'm not really interested in playing 8-cast adjacent decks. And the difference is this deck, like, it doesn't have counter spells to slow down the opponent. That's a big thing. And then on top of that, like, you're kind of slow. You need a lot of moving pieces to get going, and that's a problem we've had so far. This is not a keepable hand. Sure, we'll try this, and we'll bottom a Mishra's Bobble. Bobble, Bobble, Opal, Urza's Saga, and now I can play Thoughtcast, and to double Karn the Great Piece of Trash. Okay. Wooded Foothills, Noble Hierarch, sure. The One Ring. We can't play that yet, but I think that this game is a Urza Saga game, or at least that's what I'm hoping. So we're just going to pass here. Inkmoth Nexus and Blighted Agent. They have all the Infect creatures in the world. They still have 4 cards in their hand. We'll make a Construct token. I don't think I'm going to be able to beat them down fast enough, so I'm going to use 1 Bobble here. They have another Glistener Elf in their hand. We'll draw off the Bobble. We draw another. We'll draw for turn. Another Bobble. We will create another Construct. Go grab Pyrite Spellbomb. Play a Bobble. And an Urza's Bobble. We'll attack for 7. They block with a Glistener Elf. We'll use Mishra's Bobble. Seeds of Innocence. That's brutal. Oh my. That is quite the card to see on top of your opponent's deck. Holy moly. We're going to use some Bobbles here. Ponders their top card. We'll then use the Urza's Bobble. They reveal the same Glistener Elf again. Yeah, I mean, this league has been a good example of why these artifact strategies are really dangerous. Meltdown is really popular right now due to that newer Affinity deck. We're seeing lots of Null Rods. I just got hit by a Seeds of Innocence. It just feels like these sort of strategies are really risky. We're able to accelerate into a One Ring here through Days. I don't think we can afford to pass the turn. Like, what I mean by that is play Defense Grid, untap it, and then try to play the One Ring. I think we're too close to being dead. And they have Force of Will, exiling Force of Will. Okay, pass. They play the Ponder, and now they're attacking for 2. This would bring me up to 4, in fact, if they have no other cards in hand to increase the power. That's an Invigorate. Okay, another and I'm dead. I'm also just dead next turn to an attack. So that's 8 poison. They have 2 infect creatures next turn, 3 now. So I would need to like empty my hand plus Ensnaring Bridge or something. Like, it's just not possible. And I'm dead. So I could play the Pyrite Spellbomb, but they can just animate 3 creatures and attack. That's the match. So we're 0-3. Hopefully we get the next one. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Alright, on the play, match number 4. I think that this hand is a trap. We're going to send it. Like, it can't actually cast Karn. You can play Emery, but it's really slow. We can do better. Is this a keep? I don't know. I really don't. So, like, you bottom a Thoughtcast, you can play turn 1 Grim Monolith plus Bobble, but then you can't play Engine on turn 2. Maybe we try this? I'm not sure if this is even the right move, but here goes nothing. Volcanic Island, Lotus Petal, Urza's Bobble, Grim Monolith, pass the turn. Urza's Saga, Lotus Petal, Show and Tell. Well, I'm able to put my Paradox Engine in play. Not really sure what they're up to here. Oh, they're on Jewel. Okay. We might just be dead. I'm just going to use the Urza's Bobble so I can pass priority through the rest of the turn. Grim Monolith. They play the Grim Monolith. And it appears that they're passing. We'll draw a card off of the Urza's Bobble. Karn, the Great Piece of Trash. Pretty good against the All Artifact deck, but it would have to resolve. We'll play the Volcanic. Let's try Karn. We'll untap the Grim Monolith. And they have Force of Will for Karn, the Great Creator. Okay. I thought about maybe trying Thoughtcast first to see if maybe they would force it. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know. We'll draw 2. Play Key. I can't actually cast Thoughtcast, though, because I don't have another blue mana. Pass the turn. Ancient Tomb. They have 3 cards remaining. Another Coveted Jewel. And it looks like we're off to the races here. They found one clone effect, and typically what happens now is they just keep on copying Coveted Jewel over and over again until they've drawn 20 or so cards. And then they play a Paradox Engine like we see here, and now a single spell will untap all of their mana. So they went from 0 mana up to 12. And now we'll see something like a copy of the One Ring. And One Ring provides them with cards which untaps all of their mana, so they're able to draw through their deck pretty consistently. And we see another Phyrexian Metamorph here, copying the Coveted Jewel, 3 more cards. I've seen enough. We can go to the next game. So, they, like I said, they're just going to keep on copying the Jewel. They have near infinite mana. They just keep on drawing more and more cards, and we've lost. So, we're going to try to get the post-board games. We'll bring in Defense Grid, because they do have 8 force effects in their deck. We probably want the Haywire Might, a Braid, bring out the Spell Bombs, and get rid of the Emerys. Once again, just not a value matchup. We haven't really had any value matchups in this league, if we're being honest. Okay. I'm not sure if this is really a Boots matchup either. Probably isn't. Try this, I guess. We're on the play. We have a turn 1 Defense Grid, but our hand doesn't really do a whole lot. Ay. I don't know if you're supposed to keep this. Because if the Defense Grid is countered, your hand doesn't function. So probably not. I guess we keep this and we put Engine on the bottom. We'll play Seat, Lotus Petal, Urza's Bobble, Mox Opal. And we'll Bobble right away in case they have another turn 1 Show and Tell. Force of Negation. Not a card I wanted to see here. We draw another land. Island, Lotus Petal, Grim Monolith. We need to find Defense Grid. That's a card we're definitely interested in. I mean, they have the untapped Grim Monolith, but we have to be able to do something. Play a land and pass. No point in playing the Karn into the known Force of Negation. Urza's Saga. Okay. We've had a problem this league too, with there will be games where we don't draw any lands, and then there will be games where it feels like we draw nothing but lands. And that's a fault of not playing any cantrips. Like, you're a deck with no sculpting, there's no candy trails, nothing. So you're kind of just at the mercy of your mulligans. They have 3 cards. Are we supposed to hope that the other 2 cards in hand aren't blue cards? Because that's what it feels like right now. Because if I just keep on passing, we're going to lose. So maybe I'm supposed to just try to jam the Karn here and hope that one of the other 2 cards isn't blue. And one of the cards was Phyrexian Metamorph. So we will pass. They have 1 card in hand and they're about to draw a second. Transmute Artifact. They have 8 mana in their mana pool. They sacrifice Grim Monolith. They find a coveted jewel. 4 cards in hand, a total of 7 available mana. Grim Monolith, mana is not a choke point, so it's just, do they have more card draw? That is another clone effect, so they'll be able to copy the coveted jewel. And there's another copy of coveted jewel. Another Phyrexian Metamorph. They're about to go up to 9 cards in hand. Another copy artifact, so this brings them up to 11. Even if we did get to untap here, the odds your opponent doesn't have a Force of Will or a Force of Negation, and their 11 cards that they drew are so low, considering the fact that they play 8 of them. Okay, I've seen enough. This is taking way too long. Alright, so we're 0-4, and I do have a rule on this channel, which is I don't play out matches where I am dead for money. So 0-4. Unfortunately, Velgrim, I don't think this deck has any legs. There's a number of issues with it. You're not really doing anything super powerful that quickly. Like, you can play the One Ring pretty fast, but you're not actually a fast One Ring deck. The deck is still pretty slow. It's too value-based. And right now there's a lot of splash hate. That Affinity deck is doing well. There's a lot of artifact hate in general. I mean, you have no Force of Wills to defend yourself. I think, unfortunately, Karn the Great Creator just isn't interactive with enough of the format to be a main deck playable card. So that's my opinion. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to showcase these 2 new exciting cards like Legion Extruder and Territory Forge, but I do think that if I were to play a Karn the Great Creator deck with red, I would play these as wish targets. I believe that they make a lot of sense. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day. Keep storming. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and after you do that, click that join button. It contains all of our membership information, such as access to our members exclusive Discord, members exclusive videos, and the best perk in my opinion, you can watch all of our videos early, 1 to 2 weeks in advance. That way you're always up to date on the latest and greatest content.